Hey there, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. We're doing a special uh, Christmas Eve holiday, whichever you prefer, stream. There's some Santa's Workshop PowerWash content, and I feel like this would be a good time to do it. Before we get into that, let's check in with the kitties. We have Ember top center, we have Sky top left, Sammy left center, and you can see Sherbet in his little hutch bottom center. Like I said, we have PowerWash Simulator today. Zooming in on the kitties here. Should be fun. I do enjoy this game. It's very relaxing. You get to it ticks all of the OCD boxes and has a nice completionist feel to it. We will be popping into it in just a moment here. Let's get going. Got in there to make sure everything was functional. All right, here we go. Christmas Eve, a night we look forward to for one special reason. It's the night that our inventor, Ivor Nadia, pitches next year's star toy to Santa. However, this year, Ivor was told to carry them through to Santa's office in a big box to stop any peaks. We knew they had to be really good. So it looks like we get to use our full allotment this time. The place looks like it has detonated. I figured either the elves have finally gone on strike, or elves bleed colorfully, and we're going to get one of those violent Christmas movies things going on. Either way, I'm down for that. We have soot. You have any idea what else this is? The music down another notch so we can at least get the PowerWash sound, you know? The PowerWash sound is important. This top audio is not coming through properly. Let's also make sure, in case I forget, because I always forget. Let me make sure all of the audio is making it through without going. It frequently does that, and I don't notice until somebody mentions it. Yeah, no. As you do. Okay, yeah, there's that chime. That's what we wanted. The chime is also very important to PowerWash. I remember all the buttons. Santa has itty-bitty boots. Itty-bitty boots. We're not always getting the ding. Why we not always get the ding? I remember what that's called. Ah, Skinner box. How will the Skinner box work without auditory effect? Need my dopamine hit. Some enforced shadow here. You have to get above it to get that part. Really, they added Back to the Future, too. It doesn't have great reviews as far as the content amount, but, you know, Back to the Future. You can almost not see the shelf there. Like, there's a whole shelf of hats hiding here in the muck. The step stool hiding around. There we go. Maybe... cleanse the filth. Acrobatic power washing. Do just another quick sound check, folks. Making sure everything's working correctly. That I don't show you all of my folders. Muck indeed, Tass. Had to check, you know? All paranoid after the last several times. How you doing, Tass? I'm interested to find out what the rest of the narrative is here. Because something went down. Ah, cute. Employee entrance. We haven't missed anything on the door sill there. Sleep has been messing with me recently, but Should get caught up soon. Ideally. He said without much hope of that actually happening organically. But we're gonna try. Nice. It's the ghost wolf whistle, huh? But yeah, something exploded. Something exploded. How you been doing? Haven't had as many chats with you lately. Well, that's unfortunate. Nothing says fun holiday party like, you know, gastrointestinal infections. I was just saying, been having some sleep issues. You know, the recharging isn't functioning how it should. But we struggle on. Trying to find that that next game to really scratch the cooldown play itch, you know? Those are some pointy-toed shoes. They've reached clown shoe level. I can't imagine those are like OSHA approved for a factory floor. Could really get your foot sucked into some machinery with a floppy shoe like that. Though I suppose that they could fill those out. Maybe, you know, worker elves have remarkably big feet or very long toes. I kind of feel like the very long toes is a bit of nightmare fuel, you know? Maybe that's how they work so efficiently. Extra set of prehensile digits on their feet. You got to really explore the worker elf mythology and physiology. Well, I mean, their options were buy the uniforms themselves or take them as a pay deduction. And since they're not paid anything, they didn't want to buy them themselves since they don't make any money, they just brought in their day-to-day clothes. I guess what we're saying is Santa is probably a terrible boss to work for. Everything's all holly jolly and shakes like a bowl of jelly until the whip comes out. Telling you, Elven worker strike. They finally got fed up and just paint bombed the place. At the very least, I feel like that's the headcanon we should go with. We'll have to see. Because we do get the little narrative text messages periodically. Yeah, I figure, holly jolly elven worker strike followed by holly jolly Pinkerton action. Oh man, tall ceiling. Exactly, Ghost Wolf. It's the Wizards of the Coast version of, Happy Holidays. Send in the Pinkertons for some holiday cheer. Now, supposedly, as far as in-game is concerned, there is a particular elf that makes the pitch for the shiny new toy. And this year it was supposed to be transported in secret to Santa's office in a box. And that's all we know so far. What was the filth pulse button? Press buttons at random until we find it. There it is. Tab. The filth pulse is a critical tool. Like your Assassin's Creed, eagle vision, but for dirt. Ultimately similar purpose, so you can hunt down your target and, exterminate them. I'm in ladder. Can't place ladder there. I already get this. Perhaps I already got that. We'll find out later if I didn't. We've almost got the foyer floor all cleaned up. Scrubby, scrubby. There we go. Was the adventure timeline? You don't put traps in the foyer. The foyer is a safe space. Hey there, Aniji. We're doing good. We're doing good. Doing a bit of holiday power washing. Gonna find out what went down in the workshop. How about you? How have you been? Excellent. Yeah, they've been working on the multiplayer in this game. Getting more and more extensive. Identify the corners so we can clear out the panels. They added, let's see, the Back to the Future stuff was added recently as DLC. We're still wondering when the Warhammer stuff will get in. They announced they were going to do it, but it has not, become available yet. Your hitbox? What's a hitbox? I am unfamiliar. I mean, I understand other industry uses. Leverless fighting game. So it doesn't have, like, the little joystick thing? Okay, this leads me to believe there is some sort of conflict. Interesting. Interesting. Placing the joystick with what amounts to like a D-pad. Sort of, but yeah. Interesting. I could see that working very well for something like Smash. Since it would give you very, very clear input as far as the general 4 directionals on that one. Identify the edges and scrub them down. It gets haphazard. Sometimes I kind of lose my target, but identifying the edges of surfaces and similar can help you find the checkpoints, as it were. Maximize those satisfying dings. So something about this map makes it so they don't always happen. Like, you get the light flash, but not the ding. You hear the wind hitting the window when you're close to the wall. Interesting. We get through a lot and we've still got stream time. Might start looking that they apparently extended some of the content of the base storyline. More of the Muckingham story. Which I wonder how that would unfold, because it's pretty like, stuff goes down in the base storyline. I wonder how they would extend. Exactly, Tess. Not so much a jumping of the shark and more of a launching the shark into orbit and pursuing it. Yes, it does, Aniji. The base set of stages has a contiguous story. You really wouldn't think it, would you? But actual storyline to the Power Wash game. And it's not a bad one. Silly in places, but not bad. And how could it not be silly? It's the narrative to Power Wash Simulator. Say what you want about the condition of the place, but these folks know no wrapping paper. The stuff is holding up to the nastiest power washer in the game. You wouldn't think it, but Santa does actually have a military. All of their armored vehicles are coated in wrapping paper. This stuff can stop a depleted uranium round, you know? Wouldn't want people to be able to open their presents early. It's like there's a fireplace hiding in here somewhere. Yeah. Well concealed, but it's there. Interesting. It's like setting out to get the loudest switches in a mechanical keyboard. Might be satisfying, but everybody around you might be done with it pretty quick. Luckily, the muck on the presents is very forgiving. I mean, at least you can tell when the when you're actually registering a button press. Pretty important factor for a fighting game controller, ultimately. You need to know that those inputs actually go through. Everyone was hard at work. The special toy box was being delivered. Banks was testing the durability of their rocket ships on the ceiling, whilst Mullet was fine-tuning the high notes on their xylophones. Hey, Bubbles. Night before Christmas. Anybody else watch Will McDaniel's YouTube channel? He makes very wet puppets. One of his holiday ones was essentially a person that wipes out a entire advent calendar of chocolates in like the first couple days, and the advent calendar like morphs into some sort of demonic creature and starts opening little doors on the skin of the guy and pulling chocolates out. I'm really not a fan of the holiday songs. They're not bad. Just not good either, you know? As far as general vibe, if I'm gonna listen to that kind of music, it needs to be the slower stuff. You know, not the Christmas carol-y kind. They are catchy. Three. Scanning for filth. Feliz Navidad, that's a pretty good one. One of the more upbeat ones that I think is a safe bet. I adjusted my chat flow, so hopefully I can see you folks talking faster. More visible, you know? So to some extent, it helps that we're not playing Monster Hunter right now. Monster Hunter a little bit more distracting than PowerWash. fireplace is one big entity. From a dimension beyond mortal comprehension, the fireplace entity. The damage to the proto-nanotype is entirely due to testing that happened before the completely consensual and peaceful transfer of power and directorship in the factory. Sadly, nanotypes are not easy to repair, which is why there's generally just a bring them into the factory for replacement kind of policy. That just like how the crispy lab coat was a gift. Definitely a gift. Prior director was so happy to retire that they passed it along. From a terminology perspective, just the word, I would prefer snuggles. If we are to assume actions to take with a friendly cat, I think I still prefer that term. I feel like both words occupy a similar space, you know? Ember and Mason are both really snuggly cats. They want attention, though, you know. Speaking of the cats, camera's flaking. How about that one? Camera 1 being all unreliable. Someday we'll replace camera 1. So I'd prefer, if we're gonna, that I wait until I can get upgraded cameras in general. Some nice, you know, wired CCTV jobbies. processing machine. In here, this is where we operate the entire Christmas wrapping operation using only levers and knobs. The light bulb on top. Yeah. Success is just one sled away. Take the plunge. Telling you. Elven Workers Union strike. Not too uncommon that cats will like approach when there's optimum comfort to be had. The fact that they'll come over for attention even if it requires a blanket is still one of those good signs that there's a circumstance when the cat is comfortable enough to be right on you, essentially. Be scruffy. Oh man, let's see. Sky is definitely over 10 years old at this point. I think it's, and then Ember, and then Sammy. Ember's like maybe 3 to 4. Sammy is closer because I adopted her when she was like 1 or 2. Not sure precisely when I adopted Sky. I know he was like 2 when I did. Bunting. Trident isn't great at close range, but at kind of medium to long range, it's the best one. The existence of the trident as a power washer is something that shows up in the narrative. All right, Bubbles, thanks for joining us. You have a good rest of your day and next day, or however that unfolds for you. Happy holidays and whatnot. There is a lot going on in the story, Aniji. There is a lot going on. Yeah, PowerWash Simulator having lore is still one of those wait, what kind of moments. It's kind of like how Farming Simulator has like a tournament level, like has tournaments, like competitive esports. I don't know how it operates, but it does. It's an extensive machine. The decoration machine. We've got the sort of holiday tech going on here, you know? Santa's elves had a very different tech tree progression than the rest of the world. What happens when you discover wrapping paper and festive bow tech before you discover, industrial automation? Or at least, what happens when you build your industrial automation tech on top of your festive bow and wrapping paper tech? I would still love to see that in a Civ-style game one day, where the sequence of your technology influences what technologies become available and how they operate. Discovering a more advanced tech early might remove some of the intermediary things that happened alongside some of the others. Missing a little bit on this wall in several places. Just need a little bit more. The angle right to get behind the posters or the bunting. There we go. Output slide. So it looks like things come through this machine, through the tube, through the wrapper, and then are sent up. More will we learn about this arcane elvish mechanism. That would be another fun concept. A tabletop RPG world where the elves, instead of being, the Fae or something like that, are actually like Santa's Workshop style elves. Still a very similar niche to how gnomes appear in some settings, but in a silly, festive sense. Probably have to use the ladder to get up there to the top of that chute. Hey there, Levi. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good rest of your day and tomorrow as well. Interesting how sometimes the soot and the dirt is so dark that you can't see some of the shape of the area under it. Like objects will kind of form out of nothing. It's a very chill game, folks. If you do have questions or just want to chat, feel free. Generally a chill stream, so I don't mind it that anyway. Do appreciate how you don't have to worry about the stuff flowing downhill, you know? Still in the grotto. Where's that ladder? Climb up here and get some of this while I'm here. Gonna need the ladder a lot during this one. The ceiling does get pretty high up. Be scrubby. As much of the top of the lantern while we're up here as we can. High Top Fade suspected a fault on one of their planes and was about to give it a test flight when Ivor came skipping into the workshop carrying their box of secrets. It sounds like the elves are generally named after their hairstyles. So, there's French Bob, High Top Fade. One of them was Mullet. I don't know about Ivor. Do they do that to call out that that is a exceptionally different elf? Yeah, some of that stuff is ice cream. This is mint ice cream. Some sort of confectionery-based explosion. Santa's list. This is where I can get some of the distraction as I'll follow an edge up around and not finish an area. But that's okay. We'll get it all eventually. It is interesting seeing, like, fashions and hairstyles and whatnot make their way around. They try to describe it in a way that obfuscates it, but they still call it a mullet. And that's apparently unironically popular again. I mean, there was a period where that was the thing. The mullet was like premium fashion. Could even combined it with the rat tail, you know? It's akin to explaining people that the concept of the characters that have like glam rock in their name in Five Nights at Freddy's is not an invention of that game. Equally strange as explaining to people that landlines were a thing. It is not some new and interesting concept. You got to embrace your history, if for no other reason than to be able to completely ruin someone's day by being able to say things like, "Oh yeah, we had that when I was a kid." There's a particular joy to be had in that kind of moment. Like, no, it's different now. No, it's not. No, it's not different. This candy cane's all wet. Perhaps moist candy canes. Moistened? Damp candy canes? Makes you wonder if they're tacky to the touch after I do this. Are they actually giant candy canes or just decorative? I feel like it would be on theme if they were actually giant candy canes. Ember's snoozing away over there. Gonna have to go down on the floor beneath the railing to get the rest of this, but cough. Chocolate ice cream, yeah. Some sort of ice cream bomb was set off in here. Sort of weapon you'd kind of expect out of the Joker. The Riddler, actually. Accompanied by a really bad riddle that the writers have to make it sound like all the characters are stumped by it. Answer possibly be? I think somebody did a skit on that where as soon as he asks the question, Batman pulls out a cell phone and says the answer is this. What did you just do? I Googled it. I spent a lot of time on it. Like, that was literally the first thing that that came up on the search when I said, give me a riddle. I didn't do that. I came up with it myself. The kind of villain that had a really terrible transition to the information age, you know? 0 days since last eggnog incident. I think, as we discussed previously, there's nothing good that is an incident. You know, like an eggnog accident, I could see like, oh, they spilled it and they had to clean it up. But if it's an incident, something went down. That's the kind of story you want to hear, but you also don't. You know, it's sort of interesting and terrible at the same time. Like, oh no, we can't do that anymore since the incident. Do a remarkable amount of parkour in PowerWash Simulator. Running and jumping and climbing on things. You wouldn't think it would be a skill in this profession, but clearly it is. Help wanted. Power washing assistant. Must be able to climb sheer surfaces while wearing wet galoshes. They had to put that caveat into the hiring instructions after there were a couple of incidents. So many deaths. So many preventable deaths. Only they were allowed to wear cleats. But no. Property owners are like, oh, you'll damage my roof. But then simultaneously, they're all upset about the, you know, the blood gold that they have to pay. That's actually the term they use in power washing contracts, blood gold. It's an old term, but as the game has shown us in the narrative, it's an old profession. People have been power washing since times of yore. It's nice to be part of a profession that you can describe as being around since times of yore. Makes it feel like you're involved in some sort of ancient tradition, you know? Not just power washing. Part of our culture. If only there wasn't this war on power washing going on. People trying to call it pressure washing instead of power washing. is society coming to? We've cleared those presents. Join us for our Christmas party, Christmas Eve, Sunday, tonight, at the Snow Globe. Please note, after last year's eggnog issues, we are no longer providing eggnog as a beverage of choice. Seriously, I hope they describe what went down with that eggnog. There's a story there, and we need to know. We may regret it once we have the knowledge, but I think it's important that we get it. For future generations, if nothing else, we need to know about the eggnog incident. Let's see. French Bob does designing, Mullet does fine-tuning, High Top Fade does the building, Beehive does the gift machine, Bangs does durability testing, Pompadour does painting, and Vicky Lou does the gift machine. Or if Vicky Lou is another break the pattern elf name, or if there's a haircut called the Vicky Lou. Does chat know? Anyone aware of the Vicky Lou hairstyle? Remember to use the filth pulse. Hey there! Welcome! Joining us for some holiday power washing. How are you doing today? Doing the Santa's Workshop content of PowerWash Simulator. It's a good day. It's a good day. Sleep has been rough, but other than that, good day. Giant bauble. Another fun word. Bauble. The thingamabob kind of word. I think they're still around. Anybody remember the candy called a whatchamacallit? And need the ladder for that. A post box. Letters to Santa, I suppose. You're new to the channel, so let's take a quick look at the cat cams. See if camera 1 is cooperating, but let's see here. We have Ember top right, Sky top center, Sammy left center, and I think that's Sherbet in the little cat house bottom center. Where Mason is. I'd have to do a quick check for him. Let me do that real quick. Opportunity to get up and move around. Be right back. Mason located. Settle back in here. Let's see if he stays visible a moment. He's in the upper left. You can see him leaving camera. Ember is coming to visit me. Hello. Hello. Ember is a very snuggly kitty when she wants to be. She naps a lot during stream, but when she wants attention, she'll climb right up on your, like, up your chest near your shoulder. She needs intensive attention. Luckily, the game doesn't require a lot of precision movement. You know, cats all have their own personalities. Sometimes they're very mellow, sometimes they're all over the place. I've encountered some cats that are just kind of mean unless it's to their person. No. No. petting her properly, so she has crawled up onto my shoulder. Saying earlier, you wouldn't expect it, but this game does have story, even for like the DLC or like holiday stuff like this. Sometimes you have to kind of put the pieces together on your own during it. They don't expressly tell you what's going on. Hey, you. Ember will occasionally, like, lick or try to chew at my phone, which, cat tongue is capacitive as far as phones are concerned, so she can swipe the apps away by licking at them. It's one of the failings of those little, like, cat-based phone apps and, tablet apps. Is, yeah, they'll be excited by the sound and the movement of the digital mouse, but they're very likely to turn the app off when they take a swing at it. I know this from experience. Hey, you. All right, well, thanks for joining us regardless. Hope you have a good evening. Again, the noise canceling prevents you from hearing it, but she is purring away. Yeah, I see you. As is tradition, interruption by cat. Amber's a little sweetheart. Can be a little hesitant around new people. But if she's used to you, she is more than happy to soak up attention. Santa's office door. That's where the special prototype toy went. Or was headed. Uh-oh. Ember is noticing what's on the screen. This could be a problem. We'll have to see. She doesn't do it frequently, but Ember will, like, bat at the screen or try to grab things now and again. Does that sort of little meerkat pop up on her, like, on her hind legs and wave her paws around? Very cute, but I don't need her going after the screen, you know? The sack. The present wrapping machine immediately seized up. Bellowing with soot, it sent coal pellets flying in all directions. Okay, we're getting into what happened here. Sounds like industrial accident. All of us immediately realized we needed to do something. The only problem was that nobody knew what that thing was. It was kind of a, oh man, this is bad. Somebody should do something. Except Ivor. Did Ivor know to do? We'll have to see. Grotto ceiling is getting there. Still a ways to go, but it's getting there. Missing a lot on this wall. Suspect a lot of it's behind that bunting there. Bunting concealed filth. remarkable how focused you can get on this game. You can get almost kind of a trance-like effect to it. It's that sort of Zen game, you know? In the meditative sense, not the parallel world of Half-Life. Which is kind of the opposite of, meditative trance kind of Zen. Given the jump pads and these swarms of killer aliens. Makes you wonder why they chose the name Zen. Was it, like, intentionally ironic? Or did that escape them when they were choosing it? And that they just thought, hey, that's a neat sounding word. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Getting there. Getting there. Nice. Nice. Sounds to satisfy. PowerWash Simulator ding. Makes the whole game worthwhile. You get to watch the filth go away, and then you get that dopamine hit from the ding. A good sort of Skinner box. If I'm going to be mentally manipulated, then it should be fun. Okay. Okay, I suspect that extends over there. Mustn't forget to deploy the filth pulse. Reveal to me the dirt. You know, even if it's just this one map, there's a lot in this. Lots of ground to cover. kind of want to see like a Final Fantasy 14 crossover. Like the 7 one was really good. Like the blast crater from the Ultima weapon. Maybe some like elegant test tube kind of things, you know? To our next targets. Very slow, deliberate jump that you do. Very well-built armature lamp there. Sustaining the entire weight of an adult human. Oh, that would be a good touch. Have like a white mage crook staff, you know, blasting water. Bonus points if the PowerWash outfit had at least the white mage coloration with the little red triangles, you know. It does beg the question, is there somebody that has to clean the Etherites off, you know? They have some sort of self-cleaning properties, or does somebody have to, like, scale onto the thing as it rotates and like clean off the pigeon poo. Oh man, you know, the flying chocobo poo. That'd be a job and a half. I mean, they don't rotate fast, but it's definitely not a slow rotation either. If we can get some of, if not all of the floor done here. The Help Wanted section in a fantasy world would be a thing to see. Because you'd have that sort of like, you know, must be resistant to fire damage. Bring your own healing potions. You know, come to think about it, they would probably have the a lot of the vibe of a stereotypical quest board. Job market just isn't what it used to be for the destruction majors. Used to be a reliable go-to profession, but nobody needs fireballs like they used to. You couldn't throw a stick without hitting an adventuring party needing some high explosive magic, but now everybody just goes on and on about the bad emissions from fireballs. They want more environmentally conscious mass destruction. Ultimately, I think it comes down to magic schools offering more practical training. Now, how does the wizard of today go about killing a horde of goblins? You need to make sure that you have practical job skills. Teach people the kind of mass murder that they need to know to get a job in today's economy. Now you have to deal with the fact that so much adventuring work is gig labor now. No guild backing. You got to deal with it yourself. Was your last regenerative spell actually just an elaborate illusion? Tune in tonight at 11. Thought I was going in for a standard magical healing operation, but it turns out all I got was a jaunty tune and the impression that I had actually been given a several thousand gold piece procedure. Now my insurance is saying that they won't pay to have this curse removed by an actual professional. What am I gonna do? All these workbenches are mentioned in some of the story here of, this guy was tuning his xylophones, that kind of thing. And dusting off EDF 5 to get ready for introducing it to Okami. And it's just increasing my hype for EDF 6 to arrive. The fact that they're calling out that it has more content than any prior one is kind of impressive. EDF games already have a lot of content to them. Yeah. Especially given that we've never even gotten very far into hard mode, let alone inferno mode. And every one of those difficulty tiers has its own battery of weaponry. Bit of a tech mixture going on when you look at some of this. Got a full-on modern drill press on this bench. It would be interesting to see a take on Santa's workshop that accounted for modern consumer products. Like, how does Santa's elves do something like make a Nintendo Switch? What's the Elvish legal department like? When you think about that, they've got to have a Disney level legal team. They just get packaging from the same distributors that the major companies use. They're just all third-party fakes. I suppose we could have like an organized crime take on it as well. You know, they don't build a PlayStation 5, but there's a family that was returning from a Black Friday sale battered and bloody, and they were mugged in an alley by an elf. Little guy brandishing a sharpened candy cane. PlayStation or your life. Don't make me use this. Are getting there. Like the whole, soap in a sock kind of scenario, but Christmas elves. Fed up that bribery wasn't working anymore. Santa started to take disciplining children into his own hands. Aided by a herd of wild animals and a bunch of elves with a lot of repressed rage, Santa has gone on a bit of a crusade. A lot of short-term kidnappings that end up with children returning very well behaved and slightly bruised. Pack enough soft toys into a stocking and there's still a lot of impact force without the weight and focused impact that would leave marks. That's probably what the eggnog incident was. It's not that it was like a drunken thing, it was more of a waterboarding thing. Very sticky waterboarding, but you'd expect that it would at least smell nice. Even added to it when you have the reindeer in tactical gear and Santa busting in with a rifle or something like that. Dragging the one kid away. But then turns to the other one and says, "But not you, little Susie. Here's that doll you asked for." I mean, it'd have to be part of the whole process. You have the ones that are subjected to re-education, and then you have the ones that witnessed the initial abduction. It's not actually mentally healthy, but at least during the period that that they believe in Santa Claus, that it would probably be effective. Ivor threw open his box and started dishing out his new invention to everybody. Something ice cream related, clearly. Were incredible, like bags with handles that connected to a wandy thing that you hold in your hand. Okay. It's some sort of like pressure washer. Bit like your washer thing, actually. Yep, there we go. When you press the button, it didn't squirt water, but ice cream. I don't see how that's gonna solve your problem. It's one of those like, what's your end game here? Within seconds, we'd put out the fire. Well, okay. I expect, like, fire hose style ice cream dispensing would be a decent flame retardant. Probably should have stopped there, but it was just too fun. You know, it puts a real sinister spin on the elf on a shelf, you know? It's not there to make sure that you're being good during the period. It's there to remind you of what happened when you weren't. Very much one of those, don't make us come out there again. People say the elf on a shelf is just a harmless Christmas tradition, but it's actually a spy planted by the North Pole deep state. Uses 5G radio towers to keep you surveilled by Santa Claus. Open your eyes, festive sheeple. Says something about the world we live in when some of these bizarre stories that we spin actually feel kind of plausible to show up in a newscast somewhere. Florida man opens fire on traditional holiday decoration. Claims it was watching him. I wonder, does Santa have a naughty and nice list that is locationally contextual? I mean, you'd think so. Like there'd be different standards on what constituted naughty and nice, especially over time. I like the little sleigh runners here. I'd kind of want to see one of those, Japanese mech launch rails here. Still cleaning the same house, Aniji. We have discovered that there was like a fire in the workshop, and they decided to deal with it by using pressure washers that fired ice cream. It was one of the later Santa Claus movies where they had like modernized a lot of Santa's gear, like jet turbines on the sleigh, that kind of thing. Overall, a pretty morbid movie concept, finding out that the whole Santa Claus character has a Highlander style succession system. Sometimes you have that sort of succession by accident that we saw in the movies, but every now and then it's a battle to the death to determine which Santa will go through the quickening. Yeah, even the standalone content in this Aniji, there is a story going on during it. There's always a why you're here and also like a strange occurrence to go with it. On the surface, I'm here cleaning Santa's workshop, but the why are we here cleaning Santa's workshop as an extra narrative. That ladder, there we go. Generally, the text messages. You'll have a little bit before and after, and then you have the text messages during it. There are some visuals that can help you see what's going on as well. Like something about the environment that you're cleaning might tell you a little bit more about what's happening. Sometimes very overtly, sometimes just kind of light. A lot of it often coming down to, how could this get that filthy? What circumstance could possibly lead to this state? For 90%. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Some remnants of the coal projectiles up here. A Rube Goldberg feel to some of the machines in here. Like, cute looking and all, but very inefficient seeming. Probably comes from basing your tech on, like, ribbons and wrapping paper. Leads to some concessions and oddities in how you can structure things. There's even a bit of RPG mechanic in this in EG, in that the money that you make in the missions you can spend on upgrades to your power washer. Some part of this box that I haven't reached yet. That one is not cleaned up yet, and this one is not cleaned up yet. There we go. Cheer checker output slide. Apparently this is the cheer checker. Are they checking to make sure that it's wrapped in a cheery fashion? Is there some intrinsic cheer value in the contents of the box? Unclear. Is it kind of some sort of like festive radiation, you know? Some sort of byproduct of the process is called cheer. Feels like they're giving a nice happy name to something that's probably toxic, you know? That's part of it while we're at it. Usually not optimum to just flail back and forth like this, but the trident does pretty good once you've got it. Giant bubble. Quite a bit missing on the bauble. Not really. There we go. The launch door here. Yeah, apparently one of the present processing machines jammed up, started spraying coal everywhere, the thing started to light on fire. So the inventor dispensed the new toy he had made, which was effectively like a bag of ice cream connected to a, you know, a wand like this that let them spray ice cream. They put out the fire, and then they got out of control and kept going. So initially everything was covered in soot, and then it was covered in ice cream. Rubbing the cheer checker. All the way up there again. Near the last couple things. Then we'll have to do a sweep. Verify what was missed. You can see some of the thicker soot is coal. It's not familiar there, Aniji. This Yomi hustle. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I've seen that one. It's at least on Steam it was like all you need is hustle. Okay. What are we missing here? Tier checkers star. Christmas tree present. Yeah, that's right. One of these presents hides filth. Decoration machine paper. Decoration machine vent. Then pipes. It can be, but that's where the pulse comes in. Is you you identify what the item is, locate it, and then like you can press tab in this to it'll anything that you can wash will reflect yellow. Papers, vent pipes. Papers isn't done. Exit door frame and fireplace gonk. Huh. I don't know what a gonk is, but looks like some sort of gnome. Door frame. Grotto skirting. Wall panels. Go. Each piece of wall paneling isn't clean. One. Just a little speck on it. 3 of the lanterns. 1 of the paintings. Office door handle and some sleigh bells. Fine, I'll go around the long way. Grotto ceiling beam and stock shelves. A drum and a xylophone. So I can use that list to identify the object. When I'm hovering my cursor over the object, it'll tell me, like, there's a little health bar for the dirt on it. And then I can use tab to reveal the dirt. Hello, Sammy. Ladder rails, work lamp, organizer. Exit door frame. All right, let's watch that time lapse. This is always cool to watch. Yum. Neat. Thanks you, Christmas is saved. All the machines are back up and running, and every present has been made, wrapped, and packed tightly in Santa's sack of infinity, ready for delivery. Unsurprisingly, Ivor's new invention was a flat no from Santa. Whilst it saved us on this occasion, Santa reasoned that the occasion itself was quite niche, and that a spraying machine that covers any surface in a delicious coating of ice cream might not be what grown-ups of this world need right now. Oh well, back to the drawing board for Ivor, but at least we'll all get to have fun at our Christmas party. P.S. Santa says you've shot straight to the top of the good list. Nice. Nice. Good times, though. Good times, though. Right about on time, too. What'd you folks think? Did you like the holiday event for Pressure Wash Simulator or Power Wash Simulator, chat? There are a couple of other things, but frankly, I'm kind of waiting for the Warhammer one next. Really interested to see if they do that and what's in it if they do that. They've announced it, but it's been announced for a while. No worries. Lurking is fine, Aniji. We're lurking is just fine. And yeah, maybe we'll have to revisit it and see what else they've added to the Muckingham story. Or if they've just added some more, like, hey, just go do this and there's not much else to it kind of things. We'll have to see. Don't have something planned for tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. But at the very least, for the remainder of the week, I hope to get back on regular schedule. That said, let's go through our wrap-up process here. Again, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see if we can get a redirect here. No, we cannot. How about try? We'll try one more thing. There's no. Okay. I tried. Again, thanks everybody for watching tonight. Definitely appreciate it. If you haven't already, remember to like, subscribe, follow. Just start hitting some buttons down there. All of them are good. Unless you're already subscribed, don't hit it again. I hope you all have a good evening and some happy holidays. I'll see you later.